And welcome into the Birdfeed Live, presented by Varsity House on the ISC Sports Network, streaming live on Ball State All Access and on the Chirp Cast podcast. We are live from the LA Pittenger Student Center as the Cardinals are getting set to take on Buffalo Tuesday night at the Shoe. For tickets, call 888-BSU-TICKET or head to ballstatesports.com. Now, before we get started, gentlemen, I want to give a shout-out to our women's volleyball team. The Cardinals are hosting the MAC Championship this week inside Worthen Arena. Ball State will take on Western Michigan today at 4:30 in the semifinals, and then another semifinals match after that. And here's the best part: students. So if you hear all the students here, you get in free with showing your Ball State ID. And I know head coach Kelly Miller-Phillips and her crew want to see that place packed out. So let's make sure we get to Worthen Arena this evening and make some noise. Now the final is also on Wednesday. So how about that for a week? You've got semifinal MAC championship tonight. You've got football at the Shoe on Tuesday. Then you've got the championship on Wednesday, and you got men's basketball on Saturday. You got yourself quite a week here in Muncie.
What more could you ask for the next 3 days? And speaking in regards to our women's volleyball team, I know I can speak on behalf of our whole football program, all of our players, staff that we're pulling for, man. We obviously are supporting them and wishing them well. And obviously we got a game tomorrow night, but I'm really proud of what Coach Phillips has done, and keep raising the bar for Ball State athletics. That's forcing the rest of us to step up our game. So really proud of them, and go finish the deal.
Let's do it. We love it. Now let's switch gears, focus on football a little bit. Going into tomorrow night, it's going to be a special night at the Shoe. We got 33 guys that are going to go through senior night. Coach, without getting too emotional on this, what has this group really meant to you?
I'm not going to let you get me right now, dang it.
Okay.
Well, everything. There's not enough time right now in a short radio show that we have here together to speak about everything this group has done for our program, not only just on the field, but in the classroom, and multiple semesters here where we've had the best semester on record with GPA, with academic performance rating, handling themselves with class, raising the standards of our program, helping us to get to where we're at right now. I mean, the list goes on, and on top of that, you're talking about young men, obviously fortunate to sit right here next to Bryce, but so many of them just like Bryce that are just remarkable human beings that, unbelievable character, unbelievable work ethic, are going to be successful in their life no matter what it is they do, whether they continue to play the game of football, whatever that next chapter is. You got such an unbelievable group of guys here that are going to be so successful, and they're going to make Ball State, our university, our community, all of our supporters proud for so many years to come, and I can't wait. It's like a proud dad moment for me, but I'm not done yet with these guys, and I know we got another great opportunity here tomorrow night. The same thing is on the line tomorrow night that it was a week ago. You want to win every game you play, but this one's certainly extra special. Last time we'll have a chance to play at Schumann Stadium. Meant a lot. This program's, these guys have changed our program, period. And, nothing would make me happier than to go off together tomorrow night, singing our fight song together in the locker room for the final time for the chapter at Schumann Stadium.
And Bryce, have you thought about taking the field for the final time, or is it just a strictly, hey, we've got Buffalo, that's all I'm thinking about?
I think it's a common balance of both. I feel like it's natural. This week there's been a lot of reminiscing because, simply like you said, this is the last game is Schumann, but as Coach Neu said, we don't plan on this being our last game at all. But, just the last game in the Shoe, I've put in 4 years of winter workouts on that field, 4 years of summer workouts, 4 years of camp. The list goes on. There's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on that field. And, tomorrow will be the last official time we have to take that field in a game atmosphere with our crowd and, as teammates, and being able to put our jerseys on Schumann's field one more time. It's definitely special. But as you stated, senior night, regardless of the situation, the goal is always going to be to go out and win the game. And so, while it is emotional and things of that nature, just like any other game, you got to keep your emotions in check and focus on the task at hand. So, we'll do the pregame festivities in terms of, all the seniors being recognized, and then it's kind of the flip of the switch to get focused on full-fledged on Buffalo.
Wonderful. Yeah, you certainly got something to play for, too. At least getting another opportunity to play with your teammates at least one more time and spend some more time together.
Right.
Now, coming off of playing Central Michigan last Wednesday, you have sort of a short turnaround going into this game, playing it on Tuesday. Coach, we'll start with you. You know, what goes into that preparation? Is it simply just one less day of film? Do you have one more day of rest? How do you approach that?
Well, obviously when you play on a short week, the first concern is making sure, the players are healthy as they can be, because you've just got done playing 11 games. Obviously, the game is a physical game. It can take a toll on your body. So the main concern is making in a short period, in a short turnaround, one less day than normal to prepare. You want to make sure you give the guys adequate time to get themselves recovered and ready to roll. So we changed our schedule this week. Our first day of preparation consisted of a walking through the game plan on the field, making sure mentally we were in a great spot. We really had one day where I would say it was normal work, where it was high intensity on the practice field, and then certainly yesterday we had a walkthrough as well, and today we always have Fast Friday the day before. So it changes your schedule a little bit, but most importantly, we got a lot of guys here that played a lot of football. They've been through a situation like this before. They can recall that situation, but just making sure that their bodies are ready to roll the best they can, knowing that you've already played in 11 physical contests up to this point.
Now, Bryce, what about you from a player's perspective? Does it really change much? Do you get your extra day of rest?
Like Coach Neu stated, the main order of business is making sure your body's ready to go, because, I feel like when we have a normal week of preparation, that the game comes up on you super fast. And so with a quick turnaround, it seems even faster. It's like you blink and you're on what we call today Fast Friday, which basically means, game day is pretty much here, because tonight we'll have our normal pregame meetings, and, then tomorrow will be game day. So the main thing is, one, having to move on quicker from the previous game, and then two, making a complete emphasis on taking care of your body and being ready to go. And so those are the main two differences for me.
Wonderful. Now, you guys have both had a chance to look at Buffalo on film. What stands out about them? What do they do well?
Offensively, I feel like they do a good job establishing the run. They've got a couple great running backs that they like to incorporate in their offense. Three guys that they really like to rotate and involve in their game plan. However, they best fit. Some guys, they like getting out of the backfield. Some guys are more their every down backs. And so, anytime you got a team that likes to do running back by committee, you got to be ready as a defense, because that means it's going to be rotating fresh bodies in, and you got to stay active as a defender. But they've shown that they can pass the ball too as well. They've got a couple good receivers. Number 3, I know he came from Eastern Michigan. He's able to provide some big plays for them. And so, like I always say, it's just another challenge for us as a defense. Like I said, we've got to try to take away, all the tendencies that we've been able to come across on film, and just execute. That's all it comes down to at the end of the day, is execution, and us doing our job on defense rather than they do theirs. How we doing?
What up?
How we doing?
Oh, we got the QB. You got QB1 here. Hopping in the show. We love it. Mm-hmm. Coach, what stands out about Buffalo today?
Yeah, I think just talking about the overall big picture with the whole team, I see a team that plays hard on tape. When you talk about the effort and the physicality that they play with, they've had some challenges, just like every team has. They've had to overcome some injuries. But I will say this, when you watch the tape, and especially going back to even just last week's game against Northern Illinois, who obviously has clinched the West, they went into overtime with Northern Illinois. They went toe-to-toe with them, and they're going to battle. They're going to fight. They're going to compete, and that's the one thing I see when I turn the tape on, no matter what phase it is, special teams, offense, defense. You see guys playing hard, playing with good effort, and they're gonna give you everything they got for 4 quarters. And so, even though their record might be what it is right now, they've been in some close contests. They've lost one possession games, and you're gonna get a team that comes in here and is gonna play hard, and they're gonna give you their best effort for 4 quarters.
Now, you got Matt Myers to prepare for at quarterback for Buffalo as Kyle Van Treese got hurt at Miami. Coach, what does it go into the game plan, kind of preparing for a quarterback like that when maybe he wasn't supposed to be playing? Yeah,
but Matt's played quite a bit of football for Buffalo over the years. He's been there. He's played quite a bit of football, and he's played some good football. And so, I look at it like they've got 2 very capable players. Obviously, we played against Van Treese last year in the MAC championship game. Know what his skill set is, but when you talk about Matt Myers, we're talking about a similar type of guy that's played in a lot of games, and he's capable. He's certainly a capable quarterback in this league, and obviously, I don't think on our end of it we're looking at like, oh God, Kyle Van Treese is not playing. That's a big advantage for us. Matt Myers is a good football player, and he's capable of making all the throws on the field, running their offense, and leading them down the field.
Now, on the flip side, let's go to the other side of this one. If let's say you've had a quarterback that gets hurt, how do you adjust your game plan if your starting quarterback gets hurt? Is that something that you just kind of plug and play, or do you try to make it more comfortable? How would that take place?
Yeah, each player has a different skill set, and so what you want to try to do is put him in a position to do what he does best. And so, in our case, obviously, each of the quarterbacks, our second quarterback, John Paddock's one of those young men that he does some things different than what Drew does. So you always try to put him in a position to do what they do best. And so I know, obviously, their offensive coordinator's been around for a long time, and he's done a great job everywhere he's been. And so, I'm sure he's calling plays now, making sure he puts Matt in a position to be successful and things that he feels great about and feels confident in.
All right. Well, I've got a little research for both of you. We'll start with you, Bryce. So your below average PR representative found this out in some research today. Ball State has played 9 bowl eligible opponents this year. What's it like playing a schedule where you know that you're going to have a good opponent every week?
I think as a competitor, you thrive in that. You love that. Saw something about the MAC West. Pretty much almost everybody in the MAC West is almost bowl eligible. So I think, one, it speaks to the competition of our conference, even so more specifically the MAC West, because, naturally we play more people on our side of the division. And so I think it speaks a lot to the competitiveness of our conference. And then, I guess ironically, our non-conference, we were slated some very good opponents there too as well. And so, as a competitor, being here for a while, having played a lot of football, it's a great experience to be able to put the team that you're with and, our abilities as a unit against, another quality opponent. Because when you do come out with those wins, I think it's more satisfying of a feeling. You want to beat quality teams because you want to, as a competitor, you want to say you did things at a high level and you were able to execute against quality competition and the best of the best. So for me, it's definitely been fun, and I look to continue that.
I know you've touched on this a few times because you basically got to bring your best game every single week. Well, this kind of proves it.
Every is a battle, and so when you play in our conference, and I said this back when I was a player a long time ago, and still say it to this day. Our conference probably doesn't get as much credit as it deserves in terms of quality football, good football. Great competition week in, week out. Every week's a battle. I think, obviously, the parity and the records kind of speak to how competitive it is from top to bottom. And you got to bring your A game, man. And that's the one thing when you're playing in this conference. And obviously, even the non-conference schedule, man, you got to bring your A game every week. And that's a credit to our conference as a whole. But at the same time, man, just like Bryce said, you're a competitor, man. And every game you go into, you want to win, and you want to make sure that you put your best foot forward, and that's the challenge as a competitor, to make sure you bring your best each and every week.
Now, those 9 bowl-eligible opponents this season is tied for the second most in the country with Navy, Indiana, and LSU. Now, not sure if you knew this too, Mike, but we had a press box full of NFL scouts last week, including a GM of an NFL team. You've had plenty of teams and scouts out at practice. What's that like? What does that show your players and future prospects about getting them to the next level?
Credit our players because, that process starts with the evaluation of the film. And when they evaluate the film and they like what they see, then they start to dig deeper, and that leads to them showing up at practice. They evaluate young men on the practice field. They talk to our support staff, talk to the coaches, find out about his mental makeup, find out about his work habits, find out about all that, talking to our academic people on campus. How is he over on campus? What's his learning style? And so that's a credit to our players for putting it out there on film. And we've got guys that have gone on from here, whether it's Danny Penner, whether it's Caleb Huntley, whether it's Ray Wilborn, whether it's Antonio Phillips, Walter Fletcher in the Canadian Football League. We got some guys that not only are they good football players, but they're good human beings. And every program, every NFL organization wants to make sure they have quality character individuals in addition to having great football players. And I know it makes me proud to say that the young men that represent Ball State football possess those qualities. Not only are they players that give you everything they got and produce on the field, but they're high character guys as well that you would want to be part of your program.
Bryce, what's that say to you that, there's been sort of a blueprint, if you will, or that, there's a lot of opportunities out there here at Ball State?
Oh, no, absolutely. Like you said, you got to pay it forward to the guys that kind of came before us. For me, first, you go back to my freshman year, you think of Anthony Wimbush, and then, it goes to Danny. But, when I was younger, I can honestly say it wasn't as much in terms of, scouts coming in on a consistent basis. They would kind of peek in and out. But it's more consistent now. And you gotta, like I said, you gotta pay homage to the guys that came before us and kind of paved the way. And you got, guys like he said, the guys that he listed, going to put a good name in for Ball State, because, I can assure you, even though I'm not in those buildings, if Ball State was being represented bad just from a character standpoint, or guys that, just don't have that professionalism to them coming into those organizations, they probably wouldn't be popping back in here. And so, I gotta pay homage to my teammates, and it's a cool opportunity. At the end of the day, we just control what we can control, and things like that will kind of take care of itself. But as a team, we're grateful to be able to, play in front of scouts and, have the opportunity to kind of live out a lifelong childhood dream. But, as I stated, our main focus is just, on the season and finishing this thing out strong.
Wonderful. Mike, obviously you've spent some quality time in the NFL. The NFL is good. They're going to find talent no matter where you are or who you're from, right?
There's no doubt, you're never going to leave any stone unturned. And, they've got access to every one of our game tapes. And not only that, they have access to every college program, whether it's FBS, FCS, Division II, Division III. They have access to all that tape. And, you're going to you're going to turn over every rock and make sure that you can find a prospect. And then does that prospect check off all the boxes that you're looking for as an organization? And so, it makes me proud to see the number of scouts that have come through here, because that credits the kind of young men that represent Ball State and, our staff and our strength and conditioning staff and everybody from a support staff standpoint that have helped them develop during their time here, and it's a credit to those guys, and to our players for putting it out there on tape and doing things the right way.
All right, now lastly, let's have a little fun, kind of off the field here. We got Thanksgiving coming up. I know you're focusing on Buffalo, but Thanksgiving is certainly there. What's the best part of each of your Thanksgiving meals? And I'm talking food. We understand the family's important, but we're talking about food here.
Well, for me, the first plate is special.
Oh, yeah.
The second one, I'm just stuffing myself. But the first plate is special. When you go through the line the first time, your eyes are big. You want to get one of everything, but that first plate is special. The second one, I'm just forcing myself, and then I look forward to that nap once I get full. Once you start watching a little bit of football, when the meal is over, and then you doze off, that's when you know it's a great Thanksgiving.
Wonderful.
For me, I look forward to my Aunt Tina. She makes these rolls that are always good. And then my mom's mom, we call her Ma. She makes some really good mac and cheese too. So on both sides, my mom and my dad's side of the family, I have something to look forward to. So for me, it's the rolls and the mac and cheese.
Well, and other than the nap or that first plate, I would argue that the best part about Thanksgiving are leftovers, right?
Thanks.
I mean, it's got to be, the day after. You got the full meal. It's already. Let's just have it again.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I'm digging in.
All right, now let's ask you this one. What doesn't belong on the plate? What's the one thing that's maybe traditional? It's like, I don't really think that's kind of my style.
I don't know if there's something that doesn't belong on the plate, but the plate's only so big. And then when you go
Sure.
through the line, you got to prioritize. Like, I really like that. I like that, but I really like that. And so that's the hardest part for me is just, you choose, and then there's only so much you can get on that one plate.
That's right.
I'm a picky eater, so there's a lot that don't belong on the plate. But if I could think, chitlins don't belong on the plate.
Okay.
Yeah. I can go without those every day of the week.
We can go with that. All right, well, very good. I think that'll wrap it up here. All right, Mike and Bryce, thanks for joining us today. This is the Birdfeed Live presented by Varsity House here on the ISC Sports Network, Ball State All Access YouTube page, and the Chirp Cast podcast. For head coach Mike Neu, safety Bryce Cosby, I'm Cody Voga. We'll see you next time. Chirp, chirp.